Introduction. Seeing David wear a swimming cap and goggles indicates the type of week we had this past week. It was more unique this past week in Physics 111 than the past several weeks we have been in class. Between the performance day and interviews, it's been a change from the ordinary track of things we do in class. It's nice to try something new, something different, and see how it affects you and how you cope with it. There were many things we did, learned, and questioned this past week as things were changed up a little bit. What I did. The things we did this past week were helpful to make it special. This past Tuesday in class we had performance day for our launchers where we tried to soak the teach David. Our launcher didn't quite make the distance, but it looked good doing it. After class that day, I got all my ducks in a row and made sure I was ready for the interview with David the very next day. In class on Thursday I was scheduled to see David for an interview at 9:10 a.m. and had a good time discussing physics with him. Outside of Thursday's class, I worked with group members on assembling our launcher for Project 2. What I learned. I learned something this past week that also set it apart from the previous weeks. In Tuesday's class, I learned what my subject for the scientific debate would be, and I will be debating about the pros of having ethanol in gasoline. I arrived home after class that day and learned that some of the information in our TIM was incorrect. During the interview with David on Thursday, I learned how to read the equations given on Logger Pro and convert that to the equation that we need to describe motion. After class that day, I learned that Ace Hardware is the place to go to find surgical tubing, which we needed for our launcher. What I want or need to know. There are also some things that I questioned that made this week unique. In class on Tuesday, I was wondering what my other group members thought of me being in their group. After Tuesday's class, I pondered what the positive aspects of ethanol might be and how I can prove that scientifically. Thursday's class left me questioning how I could apply more of what I learned in physics and calculus into my life. After class that day, I caught myself contemplating how we could fix the design flaws in our new launcher. Conclusion. This week has really paid off with all the things we did, learned, and questioned, not only for this past week, but for the previous weeks as well. This week was like the pinnacle for the past several weeks because it was the week that we got to perform our launch at David and also have a personal interview with him. That pinnacle was a result of the differences in this past week. It was a different week, but different doesn't mean it's not good. It has caused us to stretch and know what we need to do to improve. Oh yeah.